Well, I'm disappointed. Look, it's my fault. I watch a lot of PC WoW's content, and I've watched the Karl Johan be an absolute beast on that platform. For starters, our Karl has about 2.5 kilometers worse detection rating than the PC version, and our Karl has 3.5 kilometers less range on the torps. Both huge nerfs in their own right. And yeah, I get it, they're different games, but I was expecting something that I didn't get, and so a little disappointed, but still, let's look at our Karl and see if she has other redeeming qualities. Mainly, I've been focusing on the guns, and this is a ship where it may feel like you have options, like, hey, maybe I want to do secondaries or brawling, but really, I'm going to make a case for using a main battery build. On that note, we are using aiming systems, prop, conceal, and main battery in slot 4. Jenko is really going to be the only commander option, and that's not a bad thing. He's a solid battleship commander, and it fits nicely with the Karl J here. Reckless Gunman is a great skill to have. It's kind of like a brawler. You get the good reload buff without the range penalty, but beware, you lose your ability to detect torpedoes by a good margin, and I can personally vouch for it hurting your brawling playstyle a little bit. Porcupine in slot 2 because the ship does have a good base secondary range and a lot of secondaries. They're just not quite good enough for a full secondary build. More on that later. And my inspirations were Cunningham and Scharnhorst to kind of round out this gun build. Now, let's go jump into a match together and see what we can do with Karl here. Okay, Sea of Fortune, and wow, I've been getting this map a lot lately. I don't know why. Sometimes you just have sessions like that. So in the oh gosh, I don't know. What have we played at this point? 14 games in this ship? Man, I've got this map a lot, maybe 5 times. Anyways, that's okay. Let's have a look around here. What do we got? We have a Z23. That's a cool little camo. Okay, I dig it, I dig it. And we have a Veneto here on my backside. What I'm thinking is let's move wide to the flank. I like to be able to take refuge behind that island up there. On the left, it'll kind of protect you from torpedoes. You can use it to push around the corner. It just, yeah, it gives you options. You can disengage if you need to. Really, all of these battle cruiser style ships like the Ruprecht, the Schlieffen, Karl Johan here, they're ships that excel when you have islands to really get close to your enemies and not let them to react. Fighting in the open water isn't the strong point of this ship, I would absolutely say. So, Derka, you're upset at this ship because we didn't get the PC version of it. Well, kinda. But also, it just hasn't been going that well for me, and Prince Rupert is like one of my bread and butter ships. Yeah, the ship just doesn't feel that compelling to me. And another thing, it feels like it earns a ridiculously low amount of XP. If you guys, I'm just curious. I'm curious about your XP earnings when you get this ship, let me know. Friesland, our first target, lead him a little bit. WTF mate, looks like we missed all of those. Huh, that must be a super fast Friesland, or there was something going on there. That's very odd. Anyways, Rosia is headed up here, so what I might do is see if we can drop torps on him, but we are not going to push around the side. Torps are coming through C cap, so there are 2 DDs here. Friesland, Musashi, Savetsky, we will not survive that. So yeah, let's turn into the left here, and let's see if Savetsky pushes, we can drop some torps into him. But yes, low XP earnings, and again, I'm using an all-gun build. This isn't a secondary build, which, as we know, they get reduced XP earnings from secondary hits in World of Warship Legends. So, Johan, torpedoes. And you can see now they are pan-Euro, which means let's put them in this narrow little spread here, and we can probably fit all of them through the gap. Now, I'm thinking Rosia is going to turn in, so let's drop these a little short. Surely he's going to turn in. Doesn't he know that I'm right here? Okay, that said we would clear the island, but I guess we cannot, so let's see what the back guns can do. These are 305, they're pretty small, but at 4.9 kilometers, decent. 4 pens, 13k, I'll take it, and it looks like we're gonna land some torpedoes as well. Low alpha, as you can see, 5900, they're not dealing a lot of damage, but still, that should give Veneto a fighting chance. Now let's try to save our Z23, because if he dies, and he died. All right, we're in deep trouble. They have 2 DDs and 2 BBs against us, so let's go ahead and take a kiting position and start to head out. Little superstructure shot on Musashi here. Okay, Savetsky should die. Let's keep our guns over here in case one of the DDs pops up. Overall, though, 2 ships down and Veneto's losing. I don't understand how. He must have went broadside or something. Musashi got a terrible hit on him or something. I don't know. But we're down 2 ships. This isn't looking good. We're down 3 ships. Okay, this is probably a loss, but let's play it out and see what we can do. So, yes, let's start with the health on this ship. 72.9. It's a little on the low side of things, and the heals are kind of weak. Unfortunately, my commander is only a 15-2, so I don't get to reap the rewards of having a level 16 master mechanic and that 5th heal, and it makes a big difference in a ship like this that likes to get in close, mix it up, and brawl. I would love to finish off this Azerlane Rossiya, but he's not going to let me. Let's try to angle against Musashi's shells because we only have 32 millimeters of deck armor, so we could absolutely get punished. Once again, Friesland. I thought he was going to go forward. He backed up, so we just whiffed an entire salvo. That is tragic. And he gets the fire. And wow, that was 20k. That's what we were trying to avoid. The armor on the ship is decent. We'll go there. We'll get there here in just a second. Typically, you know, a battleship like this with secondary sonar and torpedoes, I'm kind of a reckless player, and being a content creator, and I want to show off good brawls and things like that, but I guess it's just not going to be in the cards for the ship. I just haven't had the best luck with her. Rossiya survived that. Unfortunate for us. Yep, we're definitely in deep trouble. The armor, though, it's not as bad as I originally thought. Decent side plating and a turtleback armor scheme, which the Prince Rupert can't say. But again, suffers from 32mm deck armor. It's easily farmed by 203s, HE spam from all nations. Still, better than the Rupert, but it's not amazing. You have to be careful in this ship. Okay, Rossiya went down. Oof, I guess the best thing we can do is try to waste some of these guys' time and maybe get some torps off on the Musashi. We're gonna switch to the HE, try to set a fire. The guns, they're a mixed bag in my opinion. These are Brandenburg guns. They're small and very mediocre for tier 7. Now you have them at tier 8. The AP pen is questionable, of course, so using HE to start fires for anything angled is a must. Here's Friesland again. Let's see if we can deal some damage. Always shoot those DDs when they pop up. Yeah, we're definitely gonna die. 110k though. Only 1 fire for all that. Well, we only have 4 secondary hits, I suppose. I thought we had a little more than that. Let's dump torps here. Let's see if we can hit Friesland again. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. This definitely is probably going to be a loss. It's kind of what happens, you know, if your teammates go down like that, it just is what it is. And there's torpedoes, so that's probably the Z-23 finishing me off. That's all right. GG's. I'll post in-game stats here, and we can move on to the next gameplay. Let's see if some of these torps hit, though. Maybe Perm Flood? Hey, Perm Flood, we'll take it. All right, yep, I'll edit in post-game stats, and let's just move on to the next gameplay. Decent, 165k at the end of that one. Not bad. All right, next match. Well, Sea of Fortune again. So in 15 games played, I think I've played this map 6 times. But yeah, the guns, mixed bag. One thing that I would say about them, though, is they have buffed HE. So if we looked at Agir's guns, which is a tier 8 cruiser, and it has the same exact guns as this ship, the Karl Johan, Agir's guns deal 3,600 damage with 1 HE shell. Karl Johan's 4,350 and a 1% higher fire chance. So really, this is a ship that is designed to shoot HE a little bit more. But what do you give up? That's the question. The AP Alpha is pants. Almost a full 1,000 damage below other ships at the tier with the same size guns. For example, Agir and Kronstadt guns, the same size, they deal over 9,000 damage per citadel hit, while Karl here is left behind at 8,400. So get used to using the HE and basically just save the AP for flat broadsides and cruisers. This is a cruiser killer. The accuracy is okay. The Sigma is 1.8 with American dispersion ellipses as far as I understand it. I feel like the ship should feel more accurate than it does, but it really doesn't feel accurate to me. Even with a Sigma buff from Cunningham and Azerlane Scharnhorst, those are my inspos. At least the reload is faster though, I would say that. 25 seconds base, you can buff that down to pretty quick, and I think we're sitting at about 20 seconds. All right, So we spawned on the weak side, of course. That's how it seems to go. The carrier's over there, both DDs are over there. At least one of the DDs is coming to A, but it looks like the Lexington is going to tie him up. We're just going to try to get out to the flank. If I stay mid, I can definitely be farmed out by the carrier, but if I get out here, being on the weak side, basically what it forces the enemy to do is to come root me out. Like, I can basically hold up this entire flank here, even if it is just me. I have to be careful of this Iowa. We know there's a Suzuya. And what is shooting at me here? Let's see. An Atlantico. Interesting. Okay, we'll see how our secondary versus secondary face-off goes here. Let's dump some torps and probably get into a kiting position, because I don't want to sail across here and get smacked by the Iowa. Now, speaking of secondaries, there's a reason I would not make this a full secondary build, because unlike the Prince Ruprecht, you do not have improved accuracy and you do not get the German improved pin. So even the larger 150mm guns on this thing are going to shatter a lot. They do have good range. Oh, Suzuya, are you going to pay with your life? No, you're not. One pin. Oh, that's unfortunate. That hurts. That hurts my heart. Yes, these guns, these secondaries are going to shatter a lot more because they don't have the artificial pin. German guns, the 128mm, pin 32. The bigger guns, pin more than that. I can't remember the value off the top of my head. So, yes, these secondaries, they look good and there's a good amount of them, but really they're not that effective. And of course, 6.8 kilometers range falls way behind the Ruprecht's crazy long 7.5 kilometers. Atlantico not paying attention to me. Let's see if we can get a nice pot shot into his sight. Again, this AP is very lackluster flat broadside. He dropped detection the instant that I fired, so I think that kind of nerfed our accuracy there. We only got 2 pins. That's kind of how my World of Warships experience has been going these past couple days. It's not been good. It's not been good at all. Let's try again. He's angled out a little bit. 4 pins that time, 10K. I'll take it. I will take it. So yes, secondaries, a little disappointing. What I find is, and we're gonna watch them here go to work, hopefully we can set some fires. Basically, that's what they seem to be good at. We're getting decent hits, but the Atlantico is very big and very slow. At least we set a fire on him that can work on him for a little bit. On the subject of these smaller guns, the AA is actually pretty decent. We got 5 Lexington planes there, and that is a very high point of the ship, because we all know German battleships and the battle cruisers like Schlieffen and Ruprecht, they're fodder for CVs. On paper, the AA DPS of this ship is pretty darn good. Now, I did play against a CV Akaga in another match on Sea of Fortune. Yes, Sea of Fortune. And I got dumpstered by him pretty hard. But still, it's better than the Ruprecht's AA, so it is a high point of this ship. The torpedoes, they're a very nice touch, I have to say. Pan-Euro torpedoes, they travel at 86 knots. That's pretty darn fast. 10 km range, quite nice as well. You can reload them pretty quickly and keep them cycling. What I would point out though is the low warhead yield. Like in the last match, you saw 5,900 damage against the Azerlane Rossiya. If you did a drive-by on a tier 8 battleship and you hit them with all 8 torpedoes, you would deal a little over 80,000 damage. But remember, most ships have torpedo bulges that protect them from torpedo damage, and it could reduce the damage by 40 or 50%, so you may only end up dealing 40k. What I'm saying is, you drive by, you hit him with 8 torpedoes, and the battleship is left alive. So just be very careful about that. This isn't Ruprecht or, you know, a ship like a Wami that if you do a drive-by, it's an absolute guaranteed kill. You might drive by and they might still live. But anyways, maneuverability of this ship is pretty decent, and we're going to actually try to duck into cover here. I'm still spotted. If I could drop spot, that would be great, but Suzuya is just going to be able to farm me out here. So let's see if we can get in close to this island. The concealment, if it were just a little bit better, that would be great. I mean, look at Atlanticos. What was he right there? 12.3. I think even with my buffs into it, we're way up in the 13 range. Maybe 13.7. I can't quite remember. Again, we're going to try to just shoot the HE and set a fire, and then maybe follow up with a secondary hit or a torpedo for a perm flood. I think that is probably the best strategy you could do in this ship. But yes, I'm complaining about that concealment. It's 15.4 base. Actually, that's one of the best at tier 8. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish it were a little bit better. It's a cool gimmick that it has on PC. So we've been fighting our hearts out over here. Luckily, our team is winning it on the other side. We have an Iowa, we have a Suzuya, we have an Atlantico, and the Lexington's been over here a little bit as well. I think we're just going to duck behind the island and try to stay alive. And if we can waste these guys' time, the rest of our team can swing around and finish this off for us. And that's just how games like this go. Sometimes you spawn on the weak side. Luckily, our Edinburgh survived, but he is 2 clicks behind me right now, so he's not going to be much more help, it looks like. So yeah, we'll wait for some knife fights and hopefully get some torpedo hits. So the other big disappointment I've found myself dealing with is almost an inability to earn XP in this ship. And maybe I just haven't been having the best games, but I've never found myself so low on the boards game after game, even if it were a pretty decent match. Last match, what was that? 165k with only 2200 XP? So currently, these XP earnings seem pretty low. Okay, here's Atlantico. Let's drop some torps. He'll probably going to turn in immediately after he fires. See what we can do. The AP is not going to do anything against a ship pretty heavily armored like that. And we need to go back forward and try to get out of here. But yeah, so like Prince Rupert, it's a full secondary build, and average XP earnings on that ship are well above 1900. And on this ship, 1400. Really, really atrocious. I don't know what's up with that. I am definitely going to ask the community managers to look into that, or, maybe it's just me and my bad luck. All right, time for Ring Around the Rosie with these 3 ships. We're definitely at least wasting their time, although it looks like this battle is already over. Thank you, Blue Team, for saving me on this one. But I think why I feel that Prince Rupert is the better ship is because it just has better burst damage. It deals damage so much quicker than Karl Johan does. So on paper, Karl has better HP, better heals, better armor, and better AA. Prince, though, has probably better guns. Let's look at these guns on an Iowa. 3 pins, 9200. These small caliber guns are questionable. And yeah, I feel like the Rupert deals more damage in burst situations like this. The secondaries are more accurate and they hit harder with more pin, the guns hit hard, and the torpedoes hit a lot harder. This ship seems to do a lot of tickling the enemies, So instead of clearing enemies off the board when you're in a brawl situation like we are here, they're still kind of left alive. And we can watch the secondaries tick up here and see if we feel like they're being effective. Let's dump torps on Atlantico, and then we'll use all of the guns on Suzuya. This should still be a dev strike, right? If we get him killed here. One more Citadel. We're going to survive, but we're probably not even going to get another kill. That's okay. We held this side off, and our team won this one. But yes, the ship has just been a little bit disappointing to me. I am curious what you guys think of her, though. I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section down below. And, 2,500 dubs for the Admiralty backing. Of course, I think it's worth it. Of course, with all the goodies you get, it's always worth it. It's still a decent battleship, it's probably better than some of the other ones we've got. I don't know if I would rank it above like the Marco Polo or the Marlborough. It's decent, I'm a little disappointed. Anyways, if you liked it, hit the thumbs up, be sure to sub for more content, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.